Leider. Andrew is a senior program manager with the Institute at the Golden Gate, and I've had a lot of fun over the last 3 years working with Andrew and his teammates out there. The Institute's a wonderful hybrid. It's run under the Golden Gate Parks Conservancy in cooperation with the Park Service, and it's taken on some very important missions. The whole Healthy Parks, Healthy People movement, the Healthy Food in Parks activities, and more. So we've asked Andrew to moderate the panel, and he has two wonderful people to draw upon, Robin and Jason, and we'll let Andrew go ahead and introduce them and begin our first panel of the morning. So Jason and Robin and Andrew, come on up and take the stage here.
Doing it.
Good morning. Just to briefly begin with an informal survey. So with a show of hands, as a child or a young adult growing up, whose mother, father, grandparent, caregiver said, go outside and play? When you think about those experiences, when you think about the work that you do now and you connect the two, and just to hear from 3 or 4 different people in 1 or 2 words, not sentences, what are the intrinsic effects of recreating outside? Just shout them out. If you go outside and play...
Attention.
Independence.
Independence.
Fun.
Fun.
Creativity.
Creativity.
Friends.
Friends.
Exploration.
Exploration.
Feel good.
Feel good.
Bruises.
Bruises. real life. How many in your work today, how many of your agencies or organizations have health as a mission, have health language in how you speak about your programs or your agencies, or have signage particular to human health that's beyond hygiene and hand washing after you use the facilities? Just a show of hands. Great. How many of you are in the healthcare business? So I think our challenge today is to really help you understand that you are all in the healthcare business, and to answer the challenges that we face as individuals in our human health, to answer the challenges nationally that we face around healthcare, around spending, around the opportunities to connect people to public lands. These are all, in some way, healthcare and health-oriented challenges. I would also posit to you today that connecting health and outdoor recreation is a marketing challenge. There is the opportunity to use health as a tool for relevancy for all of you. We're in an urbanizing world. We're in a world that is continually disconnected from the natural world. There is a chance to authentically reconnect people with what I believe is who we are as genetic humans. People who grew up outside for millions of years, had a strong, innate, biological connection with outdoor spaces, and that your task as recreation advocacy agencies, as land managers, as conservationists, is to help reconnect us as people, us as a nation, to our heritage as outdoor people, as people who are connected with the places and the people who live in those places, including animals, wildlife, and natural world. Part of our work at the Institute at the Golden Gate is to strengthen the intrinsic connections between what we consider to be parks. We're a close partner of the National Park Service, but we use that in the broadest sense: regional, state, national, and including more and more parks in people's backyards. In some ways, the challenge that we face is getting people from the couch to the backyard, from the backyard to the street, from playing in the street to playing at the park. And so you start to bring in all kinds of other needs, safe routes to parks, urban planning, a huge mixture of things, and I would posit to you today that you are all in the business of playing a role in that, and that those people are your users. So whether you're at Yosemite, or whether you're at the National Mall, or whether you're at Golden Gate, your opportunity is to speak to people in a way that gets them from their couch to where you are for reasons that are important to them, and we'll speak much more about that. Part of the work that I do outside my day job is I do some coaching and mentoring for young professionals who are in the environmental and social entrepreneur worlds. One of the things that they consistently come up and speak with me about is the need to connect who they are with what they do. This is not a new topic. Speaking about health and the outdoor connection is not a new topic. But I would say also the relevancy opportunity is to connect what do people care about deeply about going outside, about their own health, and you need to connect that with what you have to provide. There are two sides of the coin here. There's a supply side, parks, and again using that park term broadly, conservation agencies, land managers have a tremendous resource. The supply of healthy opportunities is gigantic. There is also the demand side. What do those people care about? What do they care about doing when they're on those public lands? What's fun for them? What grabs them? Is it boating? Is it fishing? And I would say that all of those different opportunities that we've talked about for the last few days have a relevancy to how you speak to your audience, how you choose to engage them, and how that engagement fits into a larger national dialogue. And that health, I believe, the Institute works on topics that are centered around how do you connect the health of our nation, the health of our people, and the health of our lands. And so we'll speak more about that today. To begin with, Jason, I'm going to ask you to start us off. Jason Urroz is and again, bios are in the materials, but a few key facts on Jason. He's the director of Kids in Parks, which is a program of the Blue Ridge Parkway Foundation. Blue Ridge Parkway is also doing great work connecting the dots on park prescriptions between healthcare providers, doctors, and young people. Jason also has over a decade working with young people in various fields, ranging from outdoor education, traditional classroom education, physical education. And more interestingly, Jason has created and continues to be active in the disc golf world, one of my personal hobbies, and created the world's first nature disc golf course in I believe North Carolina, and I'll let him speak more about that. Jason is also an editorial assistant for the Journal of Interpretation Research and is the North Carolina State Representative for the National Association for Interpretation. Perhaps underpinning all of that, Jason was also a ranger in Yosemite for the National Park Service. So, Jason. Thank you.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Once again, my name is Jason Urroz, and I'm the director of the Blue Ridge Parkway Foundation's Kids in Parks program. Now, before I talk directly about Kids in Parks, the foundation has a lot of programs and things that we're doing that help. We're the partner agency, I guess, for the Blue Ridge Parkway, and we do a lot of the fundraising that helps support the Parkway beyond federal budgets. And so we have a lot of programs that we have going on in there, which would be like our Parkway Plus program, where we have different hotel locations that are near the Parkway who ask their guests if they would like to donate $1 in their night stay. We also have a specialty license plate in North Carolina where people in North Carolina can buy this license plate for their car. An extra fee from that goes to us, which we turn around and give back to the park. So to tie that in with the recreation fees that we were talking about yesterday, the foundation does a lot of big things. And one of the big things we're doing is Kids in Parks, and the reason why I'm here to talk today. So, Kids in Parks was founded by 3 organizations: the Blue Ridge Parkway Foundation, the Blue Ridge Parkway, and the Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina Foundation. So we've got 3 very different agencies going on. We, obviously, how does the healthcare industry, or why does the Blue Cross Blue Shield want to be involved in the national parks and getting kids outdoors? And they see it as a preventative maintenance. So instead of getting the kids after they're already overweight and obese and have diabetes and other issues, starting before they get to that stage and getting the kids out there connected with nature, physically active early on. And they saw this partnership, they're very forward thinking, with the Park Service, with the Blue Ridge Parkway, and then with our foundation to create this program to get kids outdoors. And I have a lot of slides, so I'm going to go really, really fast through this. So it's pretty obvious that the trails are empty. There was a study done on the Blue Ridge Parkway in 2008, before I got there, one in the summer, one in the fall. So you see 2 different numbers there. 7 to 12% of the visitors to the Blue Ridge Parkway bring kids. The Blue Ridge Parkway happens to be the most visited unit of the National Park Service in the United States, with more than 16,000 visitors per year. Well, if the most visited unit of the National Park Service only has 7 to 12% kids visiting, then there's going to be an issue coming up in the future with stewardship of the parkway. And so the Blue Ridge Parkway Foundation said, hey, we really need to try to get some kids into nature. Where are the kids at if they're not on the trail? Well, they're plugged into electronic media for an average of 7.5 hours a day, according to a Kaiser study. And if you multiply the fact that a kid could be watching TV while Facebooking and texting, that number can be 11 hours a day that kids are interacting with electronic media, and they're not interacting with nature. And so we need to reverse that trend. And, coincidentally, childhood obesity is rising. 1 out of every 3 kids in the state that the Parkway is in, North Carolina and Virginia, is classified as overweight or obese. And so something has to be done. So the solution, what would be the solution? It would be to get our kids in parks. What would the benefits of getting the kids in parks, what's that going to do for us? Or what's that going to do for the kids? Well, there's obviously physical benefits. Obviously playing outdoors is going to get you moving, your heart rate up, and research is going to show that body mass index, obesity, things like that are going to drop. Kids who play outside have a higher self-esteem. Schoolyards that have green spaces have a lower incidence of childhood bullying. And so there's an emotional connection from kids who play outdoors. There's cognitive. Research shows that kids who have a green schoolyard do better in school. Kids who have grown up playing outdoors do score higher on SATs. So these are very simple things. And obviously, the most important thing is, where's the future stewards going to come from? When these kids are 40, 50 years old and they become the decision makers, and somebody wants to put a set of condominiums on the ridge that's right next to the parkway, who's going to step up and say, wait, no, I like that place. We don't want the set of condominiums here. It's not what this is about. And so we need to develop that next generation of stewards who is going to be able to stand up and fight for nature, and healthy stewards who are going to be around when they're 40 and 50 in order to help protect the parkway. So how are we going to do it? How are we going to get these kids connected? That's the question. With guided programs, here's a picture of me in Yosemite giving a guided program. The issue with that is probably doing my bear rap at that moment. The issue is only 4 to 8% of the visitors who were surveyed during that Parkway study in 2008 reported going to a ranger-led program. And that's not a trend that's unique to the Parkway. Now, the Parkway does have some unique issues in that it's a very long ribbon of road, and the campgrounds are extremely spaced out, and the visitors are spread out along that, and they get to the campgrounds late at night, so they may not have that opportunity to interact with a ranger or attend a ranger-led campfire program. But this isn't any different than my experience in Yosemite, where I very rarely had anyone attend one of my guided hikes. For example, I was on a farther side of the park. I wasn't in the valley where they get a lot of visitation, but very rarely did anybody come to a guided hike. I had lots of people come to campfire programs, but people just don't want to be bothered. They want to do their own thing. And so what can we do? Well, another approach would work. And so introducing the Kids in Parks Track Trails program. Track trails are a series of networked, self-guided trails, and I put a packet on the end of every aisle that has some of our materials on there. But it's a series of networked, self-guided